Very well. Let this abomination unto the Lord begin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Planet Express Delivery Podcast. Just want to let you know what is going on with this episode right now, because it's out of our usual order. For those of you who have been following the podcast, you know that we just wrapped up Season 5, which is the end of the original run of the show on Fox, and we're about to get into the movies, but as you can imagine, those are a little bit more logistically complicated to get set up. But we didn't want to skip a week. We want to keep putting out episodes and keep providing content for you guys. So what we ended up doing was sort of a reboot of the pilot episode. For those of you who aren't familiar, Dave and I started this podcast about a year and a half ago. We didn't even have a setup. We had an iPhone that we set up on the bar table. And the first episode that we did is just terrible. I cannot recommend that anyone go back and listen to it. But what we thought would be fun, since we finished the initial Fox run, and obviously we have grown and developed so much as a show, we wanted to go back and actually apply everything that we have learned and everything that we've talked about to the Space Pilot 3000. So that's what's going on here, and I just want to let you guys know we did record this episode at Shady's. Again, if you've not been with the podcast for that long, Shady's is the bar that we used to record in, sort of a throwback to that for this episode. So just know going in that the audio quality is going to be a little bit dirty and kind of hectic as, well, we're in a bar. I guess you guys can figure it out from there. In any case, just want to let you guys know what's going on with that. Next week, we should be back on schedule with the start of the films, and the first one we're doing is, of course, Bender's Big Score. So definitely stick around and check that out when it comes out. In the meantime, thank you all for listening to the show, and enjoy the episode.
Nonsense.
It's always nonsense.
It's like the entirety of this show
is nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, today it's definitely nonsense.
Well, yeah, because we're doing something that we've already done.
Yeah, but I feel like this was a good idea on your part.
I agree. Yeah. Yes.
I guess.
Oh, that goddamn door slamming every time. I don't miss that.
Yeah. I remember why we stopped recording here.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the Planet Express Delivery Podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
This is David.
This is James.
This is Suds.
You know, we haven't introduced ourselves in a long
Jesus,
time.
it must just be the atmosphere. We're like, oh, we have to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, well, we never take the time to, the beginning of the podcast is always such bullshit that by the time we would get around to introducing ourselves, we're 15 minutes in, and everyone knows everything there is to know about the shits we took this morning.
Yeah, well,
I don't think we've ever talking about shits we took in the morning, did we?
I'm sure we have at some point.
Don't point your finger at me.
Don't
point your finger at me.
Specifically have brought up shits you've taken.
No.
When it's not us, everyone turning and looking at Sven to take when he's taking a shit. Because a lot of times it's just him in the background going.
Yeah. Okay, listeners, do a deep dive into our back catalog. Find all references where I have mentioned taking a shit. Tweet at us. Hashtag Suds shit.
Hashtag Suds shit. Yes.
I don't know if that's a terrific hashtag at all.
Can we get that trending?
Yeah, please.
You're gonna make Mike Twitter famous.
Hashtag Suds poop.
I don't think it's ever happened.
But I guess we should explain why we're back at Shady's for this episode.
Yes. Well, we are all in terrible form this week. And
well, what did you do last night? You watched movies.
Yes, I did. I watched. Can we talk about? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's get it.
Can we talk about it? I think we should talk about it.
Let's get wildly off topic immediately.
As usual. So I watched Ant-Man again, which is a terrific fucking movie.
Which we saw in theaters.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We saw that in theaters. Three of us plus one other person.
Was it Tara?
Tara, yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing with that. Thank you, James.
Thank you,
So,
Dave.
the first time
Thank you,
watching
Mike.
it, I remember.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor.
Thank you, Trent.
The first time watching it, I realized I liked the movie. Watching it again, I realized I really liked the fucking movie. Like, it was really good.
Yeah, it's fucking
It
great.
is, like, really good.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel movies, to be honest, but of the ones I have seen, it's my favorite, I would think. It's like either that or Guardians of the Galaxy.
I would
but-
definitely say that is up there with one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That, I watched also Baby Driver and another movie with Simon Pegg called Absolutely Anything. We were talking about this kind of earlier. So.
Yeah. I haven't finished it yet.
Okay. Right. Well, it is in the vein. It is very much a Monty Python-esque movie. One of Robin Williams, I believe, his last recorded.
Definitely one of his last. As we found out earlier, Dave doesn't know who Terry Jones is.
No, I could not put a face to the name.
I didn't either, but once I saw a photo, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, like Dave said, I always think of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah, the first, director of Monty Python type things.
I guess.
But of the group, I would say he's the most famous.
Probably. Well, director-wise, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It really, when it comes down to it, Monty Python, I think John Cleese.
John Cleese is probably the most recognizable.
Faulty Towers.
I was just watching Faulty Towers last night.
So good. I haven't seen it for a few years.
See, now I'm going to have to check it out. It keeps coming up on my queue. I'm
It's fucking great.
Yeah. There's only like 14 episodes.
Yeah, it's very
I think.
short. Yeah.
Or 12 episodes.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah, me too.
I like when the series has, like, an ending. Like, it doesn't keep going.
Unless it's Firefly.
Okay, we can go into that now that we're really all getting offhand.
No, but so what we're gonna do today is, since we have just finished the original Fox run of Futurama, and before we're about to get into the movies here, which we're still working out the logistics for, but we thought since we started not knowing what in the fuck we were doing, and also Mike wasn't here at the time, to revisit Space Pilot 3000 for a bonus while we're getting our shit together with Bender's Big Score.
And the other adventure, Suds has just received a DVD player. Has taken me a long ass time to
Yeah, it sure has.
get to him. We thought we'd come back and do the first episode over again.
So, like, we just watched it, and I am honestly kind of surprised by how well it holds up.
Me too. I felt the same way.
James,
Yeah.
do you have your score sheet at all? The old score sheet.
No.
Or did we didn't write anything down.
We weren't even doing Slurmies when
No,
we
not
started.
until I joined.
So maybe we can Slurmy this
Yeah,
episode
we'll
at the end.
Yeah,
of
we're
it.
gonna have to slam it. Yeah.
I like that.
And figure out what Scruffy was doing.
God, yeah, that's true.
I think this is prior to
This
Scruffy.
is way pre-Scruffy.
Yeah, but we have to. That's
In the
everyone
Futurama
think.
universe, there's only two different times. There's pre-Scruffy and post-Scruffy.
We're not drunk.
No, Jesus Christ.
We've been drinking for a while now. For a while.
Yeah, well, James and I have been drinking since what? Well, I got here at like 1 o'clock, and James got here at 1:30ish when he was supposed to. Dave strolled in around 2:45 or some bullshit.
Yes, I'm late. I know. All right, I get it. Come on, give me a break.
And
So-
I ran errands this morning. Like, I did shit. Dave didn't even.
I didn't do anything. I did nothing. I was going to work out, and then I saw I was super late, so I just I came right here. I would have been really late had I done anything else.
But
So since when these two chuckleheads initially started this podcast, the podcast sucked and was garbage and everyone hated it.
No, shut up.
Until I
All
got
right.
here, then we just decided, well, we might as well go back and redo that pilot.
James and I had a lot of fun figuring everything out.
Fun, sure.
Okay.
I will say, I mean,
James, you're supposed to be on my side, damn it.
well, no, we did have a lot of fun. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be fun to listen to.
Yes.
And I am I am so put out by like how many listeners we've probably lost because they went back and listened to,
Or like started with the first one.
started
Yeah.
with the first episode that
They're
just
like-
Dave and I did.
Like on your iPhone or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
something.
and it's like we have no fucking idea what we're doing. It's noisy. The audio quality is shit.
Oh no, the audio quality is going to be less than great today. So
Well, I mean, we're
Yeah, but
back
no,
at the bar,
with-
you know.
But with the original episode, the pilot, you did it at Shady's, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you did it on a phone.
Yep. No microphone. We
Yeah.
planned it, and when we did record it, it was about this time. It was about 4 o'clock. And I think while we're doing it, like, this is when everyone started rolling in.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have any pool players. We still had that shitty fucking door behind us. But,
I think we were still doing it on Fridays then, which was that was right before happy hour.
oh yeah, prime time for when all the drunks are coming in.
So we did not plan it
No.
at all, honestly, because it was a series of events that consisted mainly of Dave and I got really drunk one night and we just started talking about Futurama, as we do, for 45 fucking minutes straight. And at the end, we're both like our 8th or 9th beer in. It was like, do you just want to do a podcast about this?
Let's fucking do it, man.
Wait, so that was the genesis of this?
It was him and
Endeavor.
I talking it. It was like, dude, I can record. I got a recording thing on my phone.
But in that vein of just you make drunk plans to do big things, and of course they never come to fruition where you just get drunk. You and I, we're gonna go on a road trip someday, and then of course you wake up and it's what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
But then the next day, I forget who, one of us called the other, and it's we're doing this, right? It's yeah, I'm totally down to do that.
Yeah. Well, I remember you guys talking about it, and then when I found, I wanted to be a part of it somehow from the start, but then, a week or two later, I found out you guys had already started it, and I was like, those fucking assholes.
No, because you didn't commit to anything.
I didn't know that I had to. I thought maybe I would be told.
James texted me. He's like, all right, so we're doing this weekend. And I'm like, yeah, all right, we're doing it. So I made sure to be here at 4 o'clock on Friday.
Nobody told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was
We didn't know we were supposed to.
I feel like I was there for one of the initial conversations about maybe we should do something.
You probably were in passing, but
What, you guys didn't like me?
oh, shut up.
We warmed up to you over time.
It had nothing to do with it. Okay, and so 5 episodes in, Suds rolls in one day.
I steamrolled in.
Yeah, you
I
did.
took over.
You
I took charge.
and this is before
On a mini bike.
we only had one mic. I
Yeah.
think. And we still were not recording properly.
No, we thought we were recording through the microphone, but no, we were recording through the phone.
We
still.
didn't realize you needed an adapter to get it to work on an external device, so
Yeah.
we were still just recording through the headphone jack or whatever.
Yeah.
But so that's why you can barely hear wherever the phone is facing during those initial episodes. That's who you're gonna hear. Everyone else sounds like they're muted.
Yeah. Boy, I really miss loud music on the jukebox.
Yeah.
While we're recording an episode.
No, it's echoing from the
Yeah.
back of the bar.
And we don't have the sound wall today.
No, we do not have the sound wall. We are going bare bones.
This is a straight throwback.
Yeah. As it were. But yeah, like once Suds rolled in, you are the one who came up with Slurmies. Did you come up with Slurmies the first time you were on?
Yeah, because I wanted to bring something of value or like have some worth for being there that first time. And I very blatantly stole that idea from my favorite podcast, Doughboys. They do chain restaurant reviews, and they rate every chain restaurant from 1 to 5 forks.
Before we get into the episode, which we should, we're about 15 minutes here.
Yeah.
No, let's just keep bullshitting.
Did you sent this link to us about Doughboys? What was that all about?
Oh, that was just an interview with Mike Mitchell and Nick Weiger on I forget what website, but some interview with the two of them about like basically how the podcast started and how crazy it's gotten, and like people just fucking love it and they don't understand why, because they just eat shitty food every week and then review it.
Yeah.
And, that's it. But it's fucking hilarious and amazing.
Another side note: we're about to have pool players.
I believe that you are correct.
Second side note, Nick Weiger just did a guest appearance on Everything's Coming Up Simpsons.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
If you're not familiar with that, another in the Matt Groening canon of podcasts, it's Ali Gertz and Julia Prescott, and it's such a great fucking show because unlike us, where we go chronologically and just have on whoever the fuck we want for like every episode, they are very deliberate in like getting very good, actually popular comedians to do specific episodes.
Well, how do they do that?
Okay, no, they live in LA.
Oh, they do live in Los Angeles. Yeah.
First of all, they live in Los Angeles.
Well, has Mike Mitchell been on that before? Because he worked.
Mike Mitchell was a PA for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He has been on. I forget which one he did.
That job. I would love to be a production assistant on any fucking animated.
Absolutely. I think you have to move to where they make TV shows.
Okay, so LA.
Well, and also, if you would ever listen to Doughboys,
or LA.
Mike Mitchell talks about his time working at The Simpsons all the time.
Yeah.
Basically, what he did was he placed lunch orders and then picked up lunch orders and delivered them to the writers, and they all got mad at him because he was always late. So.
Well, you start at the bottom and then you go up from there. Like that is why I am an audio technician at this point.
Yeah.
At a fucking.
Here's your lunch order, and as a placemat, here is my spec script.
Yeah, I would just like you to see this real quick.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny. Homer becomes a window washer, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, random.
He's probably already fucking done that.
Yeah, most likely.
And one of the later seasons that I haven't
Homer
delved
has
into.
done so many things. But the specifically, I just remember like the random Homer events, like the spirit animal. Where they, what was it? He shoots zombie Flanders in one of the.
Yeah, the Treehouse of Horror with. He brings all this. You shot Zombie Flanders. He was a zombie?
Yeah. Being part of any of that would be great. Now, we do live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so us being any part of any of those situations.
I actually kind of like that.
I know you do, but it's part of my profession now, so I have to think broader, I think. At some point, I don't know, try and find a bigger, better job would be good, but
yeah.
Until then, this and all the things.
Welcome to the world of Central Pennsylvania.
Well, I do want to mention first that I looked it up, and the first episode of the podcast, I don't know when you guys recorded it.
It would have been 2015.
It was it was a release on April 11th of 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for.
And you did 2 episodes. You did Space Pilot 3000 and The Series Has Landed.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we have been doing this for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
if you go back, and we don't suggest it, we've said
right here in the description there's a disclaimer. It says, if you're new to the podcast, believe us, this is not the place to start. We had no idea what we're doing when we recorded this. We still don't, but we've gotten better. Please check out our newer episodes before trying to make it through this disaster. Thanks.
Yeah. James
must have done
definitely
that.
prefaced that very well. Because we were talking about, we're like, oh, if people just pick us up and they start listening to that first episode, it is fucking terrible.
Yeah, you need to start around like episode 4 or 5 where I came.
Well, no, you should start later than that, too.
Around episode 30.
Yeah, when we actually have more of our shit.
By the way, I was thinking while we were rewatching the pilot together, just before we started recording, I figured out, we've talked about like, what podcast are we going to do when we get through Futurama? Like, what should we do next? We've talked about, like, the Twilight Zone, or, like, I think we've thrown out a couple ideas, but I have, I think, the perfect idea.
What's that?
Futurama. Just redo the entire...
Futurama?
Yes.
Fucking shitting me?
No, just start from the beginning.
We create the world's first cyclical podcast,
Yes.
and here we just keep doing the same series over and over again.
Well, it's not that different from that one podcast, I forget what it's called, but where they watch Grown Ups 2 every week for a year.
What is it? The worst idea in podcast history?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
It's something along those
Well,
lines.
if we do that...
We're not going to do that.
Yes,
what are you talking about?
Yes, we are.
Why are you even entertaining this idea?
We're doing
It sucks, I have to entertain
Futurama. We're
something
doing
here.
Futurama again. Once we're done.
I don't see us doing. You know why? Because we're going to be so burnt out
I don't
after.
think so. No, you know why I disagree with you? Because after rewatching the pilot, like James said, I'm so surprised at how well it held up. Like, it was a fucking great episode. And I remember when I first got into the show, and, I guess my first watch through of the entire series, it'd probably when it was canceled after season 5, which we just finished reviewing, but I don't think the movies were out at this point when I had gotten through the first 5 seasons. But I remember when I was in college or something, and I was just starting to binge watch, it was like my go to bed show or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, man, that first season doesn't even compare.
What did they call it? Futurama Sleepers?
Yeah, well, that's the Reddit subreddit.
Yeah.
Futurama Sleepers. But I remember thinking, I wouldn't watch season 1. I would only watch, 2 and 3 when I wanted to, watch Futurama. I would not watch season 1 because it just, in my mind then, it paled in comparison to the later couple of seasons. But watching that pilot, that was a good fucking episode. I mean, it sets a lot of shit up perfectly.
I mean, going along, it's still... The first season, I compared to some of the later seasons, say 3 or 4, the ones that we've already reviewed, to say nothing of the Comedy Central years that we're about to get into.
Yeah.
I think the first season is definitely a lot rougher. It's not one that I go back to that often.
Yeah.
But just in watching it now, it is so well put together, especially for a pilot episode.
It is
of anything. Whereas if you watch the old, oh my God, if you watch the Seinfeld pilot, it's terrible.
Oh God, it is bad.
Yeah.
It's so fucking. But Space Pilot 3000 is. It's a perfect episode.
It's a little rough around the edges. The voices are different. The animation isn't as crisp,
But still,
But it is. It's a fucking great episode.
And the thing is, too, we're watching episodes together.
Which I like. Why didn't we do that sooner?
Because we're fucking idiots.
Yeah. It was not something that came to it.
Yeah.
But we're watching episodes together. Futurama isn't you're gonna laugh hilariously at every fucking joke show. A lot of it
that's
is
really
very...
strange that you say that, because the comedian Pete Holmes,
Yeah.
his podcast, You Made It Weird.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since I've heard a Futurama reference, but he has referenced it before. But the way that he describes it is a show that you laugh in your head, but you don't laugh out loud. It's very funny, but he says that he never laughs out loud, but he still loves the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that just
Do you
sort
think
of
that
is
has
what
to
you're
do
saying.
with it being more like smart humor than like dumb?
Well, I think it's. I think most of it's a show that a lot of people, like you brought up the Futurama Sleepers group earlier. It's a show that people tend to watch alone. And like we just.
That's a good point.
We all watched it as a group here, and there were a few times, more than a few times during the episode that we all like laughed out loud together.
True. Yeah.
And the way that I'll encapsulate this, if you're familiar with Bo Burnham,
Yeah.
during one of his specials, he does this little wrap-up song, just like, I hope you enjoyed the special, I hope you laughed out loud, or if you watched it by yourself, I hope a couple of times you breathed through your nose really hard. That's kind of what it is. It's like if you're watching it by yourself, you get the jokes and you process that it's funny, but unless you're like with a group, and obviously we're all drinking, like it makes more, or it's more social in that way.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't often laugh at movies when I'm like alone in my apartment.
Yeah, it has to take, even with comedy stuff, it has to take something so fucking funny for me to be like cracking up. Like, I'm not just gonna be like every joke, like,
Yeah.
and that is what Futurama is. Like a lot of and as we get into the episode, which we can fly through pretty quick, but
Yeah.
there are certain points, and I don't know if specifically when I was watching it, I'm not paying attention to
Yeah.
what you guys are laughing at necessarily, because that's another thing, like kind of fucks it up. Like you're like in it.
Yeah.
So that being said, let's now that we're a half hour into our recording.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the episode.
Okay, so we don't have to go too much into
I'm
it.
gonna have a hard time not giving this a 5.0. I just have to say right off the bat.
Yeah,
I just
fine.
have to say.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's just start at the beginning. Let's start with Fry. Let's start with our main protagonist.
You and Mike's favorite character.
He's one of my. See, I
Wait, who?
Fry.
Oh, Fry. Yeah, okay.
I love Fry. I do. I really do.
I really do.
I really do. He's
But
well, he is dumb as shit.
yeah, but that's one of his, like, that makes him super endearing.
What makes him every man?
So are we.
Yeah.
Wait, dumb or endearing?
Either.
Okay.
A little column A, a little column B, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But it starts with it really does. It starts with Fry playing an old arcade game. Well, 90, maybe not 90. It's like an 80s arcade game in the 90s.
Sure.
Very similar to. Thank you, James.
I thought there was going to be more to
No,
that.
there was no. I was just gonna let you.
He was just looking for confirmation.
Yeah, I was looking for.
To acknowledge what I have said.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the game is very similar to, if anyone's familiar, R-Type.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's like a up-down shooter to the side, and his kind of like exposition is space. It's big and endless, and then when you get to the end, a monkey throws barrels at you, like just kind of.
You stink, loser.
Yeah, that little kid.
Which Suds asked, do we see this little kid again? You do see the little kid in one of the movies.
In Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, and Jurassic Park, you do see.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. 'Cause I was gonna say, wait, how the fuck do we see him when we're in the year 3000? But
Well, they do flashbacks.
yeah. Do they do flashbacks
Yeah,
in the show?
They do flashbacks.
Did you not know about that?
No, wait a second.
You don't know about flashbacks?
Oh.
I thought every episode, every scene was just perfectly linear.
No, there are flashbacks.
Weird. Okay, I'll have to pay better attention.
All right. Well, we do get right away. We get introduced to several of our main characters. Well, characters that we see. First, we get Mr. Patelli.
Mm-hmm.
Come on!
Yeah.
Wait, isn't it? It's Panucci.
Oh,
Yeah,
Panucci.
what are you talking about? Patelli.
I don't know.
Are you thinking of Mama Fratelli from the Goonies?
Oh, yeah, no. How do you even know that?
I've seen the fucking Goonies, Josh
Of
Brolin.
course he's seen
Come
the
on.
Goonies. Fuck the Godfather. He just watches the Goonies all the time.
I owned the VHS of the Goonies when I was
I
growing
did
up.
too.
My grandma would babysit me, and I played the shit out of that VHS.
Surprising.
And by the way, my grandma eventually, she got real mad. She wouldn't let me play it anymore because I had a secret version that most people haven't seen. But you know when they're going down the water
like the
slides?
octopus.
Well, yes, there's the octopus. Yeah. And there's a couple other scenes that most people don't know about. But you know when they're going down the water slides?
Yes.
And like Sean Astin or whatever, he's like, oh shit!
Yeah.
My grandma threw a fucking fit when she heard that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, no, that
Well, I was
makes
like
sense.
7 years old.
Oh, shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Frodo.
Yeah, which is surprising because we swear like fucking sailors on this show.
Oh fuck you.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Fuck, fuck.
I wish my grandma were alive to hear it.
You
Oh.
be getting smacked.
Yeah, I'll get you.
I'll see you in hell, Grandma.
Grandma.
Suds has left, so
Yeah, we got to continue with that.
I'm sure that
Now
I'm
this
sure
is-
his grandma's not in hell. Although honestly, she's probably
With the swearing and the whatnot.
She's from northwestern PA. I have to assume she's a little bit racist.
Maybe we should ask. Should we ask?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she's like totally racist, you guys.
racist.
I'm not gonna do that.
He sounds very much like Dr. Stephen Nickel. Coincidence?
Hey guys, this is Mike here. I'm just gonna do Dr. Stephen Nipple impression for you. Hey, this is Dr. Stephen Nipple. How's everyone doing? I'm here to do some medical diagnoses. Dave, you suffer from poop in the brain syndrome.
terrible.
My diagnosis is you need to get some toilet bowl cleaner for your brain because you have poop in it.
Shut up, Dr. Stephen Nipple. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, Dave. I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, whatever.
Bye.
Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I think we've heard enough from that, Michael.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
God.
I mean, Dr. Stephen
I'm
Nipple.
sorry. God. Are you still
Excuse
talking
me.
about my dead grandmother? Wait, did somebody do an impression of my dead grandma?
I love it. Yes, that's exactly what she said.
Is that anywhere close?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mike, what does your dead grandmother say?
Hey, give
God,
me
I
a
don't know. I was
kiss.
like 12 years old when she died. I don't remember.
Nobody remembers me.
No, she's not a smoker.
Not that you know of, sonny boy. I ate a pack of Newports for breakfast,
Hey, oh,
and I burned your Goonies VHS, you little bastard.
dear. She probably did. You're gonna give me fucking nightmares.
Suds is having traumatic flashbacks right now.
I'm sorry, Grandma Dorothy.
Grandma Dorothy.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I watched the Goonies.
I'm sorry that we made you a character on our podcast.
You're part of a bit now. So yeah.
Well, no. The first thing I want to bring up is that because we've talked about this a lot on the show before, we do see Nibbler's shadow in this episode.
Yeah, but that was not in the original airing.
No, it was not. It was added later on
Yeah.
when they did the DVDs.
But I'm glad they did. Well, yeah, I'm glad they did though because it sort of ties things together. I just think it's a cool little addition, even though it wasn't canon necessarily from the outset.
Well,
But-
yeah, we talked about that. Plus, I did want to mention this. So the beer that Fry goes into the cryogenics.
Lowbrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still a fucking beer in the year 3000. I fucking love
Oh,
it.
that's true.
Earth's oldest
Yeah.
brewery.
Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referencing something.
No, well, like because Yingling is
Oh,
touted as America's oldest brewery.
Sure.
great idea for a shirt.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
all right. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. That was like one of the first things. Well, after Nibbler's Shadow.
Yeah.
We also had a comment about the spaceships destroying.
Yeah, they destroy every single building that we can see out the window anyhow. But they destroy every single building that we can see in New York, except for the cryogenics lab that Fry is frozen in.
And I pointed out that's just like all you're seeing is like
So you think there were other buildings that were saved?
all you're seeing is out of a window.
Now wait a second.
It's like
I have another issue to bring up, because they show the sequence of everything being destroyed and being rebuilt and being destroyed, being rebuilt. However, New York is built like on top of old New York.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
Now on top of parts of old New York.
No, that's.
We see the leveling of everything and then the rebuilding. The last rebuild, it just seems normal, but then later in the pilot they go to underground to old New York. Doesn't make sense.
Well, that is. This is bringing it into the real world. We have to assume that climate collapse occurred at some point.
But we didn't see it out the window when we were seeing the devastation of New York.
They're doing it in such a way that it's like a clip, like a straight clip, like real quick. Like we're not going to see everything.
But then Fry emerges from his cryo tube.
Yes.
He looks out the window, and then he sees
It's the future. And no, you do have a point.
the building hasn't changed. The only way that this would work is if when Fry went into the cryo tube, he was on the 5th floor of the building. When he comes out of the cryo tube, now in that same building, he's on the 1st floor of the building.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly. No, I do. I understand.
See, these are the comments that you were missing when you did the original recording.
Yeah, but we can't. We can't shit on it too much because of the fact that it is a pilot episode.
Well, I mean, we can shit on our pilot episode because it's just awful.
As much as we want to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual show,
don't listen to our pilot episode.
Yeah, no. Actually, he told me about the disclaimer that you wrote up.
I read the disclaimer when you were getting a beer earlier on the website.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's too good.
I have gone back and listened to it since we've been doing this show, and it's just god awful.
Is there any way we could clean it up?
No.
No? Is it it's that bad?
It's just there.
Alright, so yeah, there you go.
Alright, hey, I have to go pee real quick. Don't do any impressions of my dead grandpa.
Oh, okay, we won't.
Yeah, don't worry.
No, trust us.
Yeah.
Is he gone yet?
Is he gone?
Oh my god, let me tell you about that boy.
Fucking Goonies.
I once watched him try to masturbate with a cantaloupe he put in the microwave.
Oh my god, it was terrible. I told him the microwave didn't warm up that much. He had to put it in the oven.
Sure, it dried it out, but hey, the boy needs character.
I had plenty of lotion in the bathroom. My skin is dry.
This is like the most reprehensible bit we've ever
Oh
done.
my god, yes. It's terrible. And the lotion had oatmeal in it too. It's good for your skin.
Well, let's get to the point. What were we talking about?
Grandma
That,
Dorothy, is that you?
David X. Cohen was involved in the episode.
Alright, so he wakes up in the future. He's like, woo, all my family, friends, girlfriend,
Well,
are dead.
you sort of think that he's going to be sad about it as he lists off everybody that's dead.
I do like the...
But then, woo-hoo.
Yeah, I love his, alright,
Yeah.
always looking to the brighter side at this point. And this is one of the main reasons I love Fry. Like, he does get down. He does. We've seen him get down in episodes.
Yeah, when Leela's a total bitch.
Oh my god, are we gonna talk about this?
No, we're not, because it's
We,
not.
we are, because the
Fucking
final
get into
scene,
this.
or one of the final scenes of the episode.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
They share a very sweet moment where Leela decides to, rather than injecting Fry with his fate assignment chip, or whatever they call it.
His job chip.
Yeah. Rather than doing that, she stops, she quits her job, and then she says, I've always wanted to quit. I just didn't know that I could until I met you. And then she puts her hand on Fry's little hand.
On Fry's little hand.
So sweetly.
Yeah.
And then of course Bender puts his hand on top of Fry's, and and Fry's like, come on, like what are you doing?
Ruin the moment?
Yeah.
I just want to be part of.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Foreshadowed from the first episode, should have been together immediately.
No, that is not foreshadowing.
A done deal.
That is not foreshadowing that they need to be together.
Yes, it is.
No. Not in no way. Had they had like a deep connecting moment other than that?
You know nothing about romance, do you?
Dude, love is a farce, and I'm sorry. Look, if I'm gonna hurt anybody's feelings, I might as well hurt both of your feelings. Look, I'm just saying.
All right.
David, I don't care about you enough for you to hurt my feelings.
Yes, you do. Both of you do.
We're concerned about you.
You may hide it, but you both love me.
This is actually an intervention.
Is that what we're doing?
Dave, you need to find love.
Yeah.
I need to not do any of that. I need to not do any of that.
Oh, God. Well, no, because we were asking about if Leela was planned to be a mutant from...
Oh, right.
Because it's
right.
in that scene that you're talking about where she connects with him. There's like, I understand what it's like to be alone. I'm the only one-eyed alien.
Yes.
That's up for debate on the entirety of Earth.
But then also that comes up when they initially meet, which is hilarious because Fry's like, "Can I ask you a question?" And she's like, "Is it about my eye?" And he's like, "Sort of."
Is that you can ask me? No, she goes, you can ask me. Yeah, sure, if it's not about my eye.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What's with the eye?
Yeah. And I think that's funny because why wouldn't you? If you met a beautiful one-eyed woman, would you not just be like,
Now wait a second. Do you have a little bit of a crush on Leela?
Of course I do. She is the and later in one of the Comedy Central episodes, Bender dresses up as Leela.
Yeah, I recall. Yeah.
I'm every nerd's dream. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. He might be right.
Dave has a soft spot for Leela cosplayers.
I do.
Yeah.
I prefer Peggy.
Have you seen some of the
Peggy Bundy.
Continue talking. I'm bringing up some Leela cosplay.
Oh, don't. Oh, God damn it.
This is just going to be a bunch of like scantily clad women.
And your argument?
Do that behind closed doors, you fucking
I'm
weirdo.
not jerking off or anything.
Are you
I'm
sure?
not
Well,
yet.
why is your dick out?
Also, why does it have that weird bend to it?
Yeah, that's
It curves a
very
little.
odd.
Yeah.
You know what? You both shut up. I know you both love Leela
It's very
too.
strange that we can see the curve through that sock that he's wearing. On
I
his
know.
leg.
I'm not quite sure.
I don't understand that.
And it's, I don't even know where you get translucent socks.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that. I want everyone to see it. I'm proud.
That would be why he's wearing
These are
saran
not
wrap instead of regular
scantily
pants.
Clad?
Scantily cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Ah,
Those sexy clouds.
these are all very well done.
No one can see what you're doing.
I think we should, put some links to this. Yeah, I'm
nobody
aware.
knows that.
These are very good.
But I think
She's probably the best.
Oh, she's pretty.
the point that we wanted to bring up was Leela
Actually,
planned
no, she's
as a mutant from the pilot.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about when we watched the episode. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they knew that they were gonna make the switch to her being a mutant, or
Well, let's
if
go
they just
to our-
initially thought.
Our guest caller. Our guest.
Oh, do we have him on the line?
Yeah, we do. David X. Cohen, would you like to comment?
Hang on. I gotta dial him up. We haven't.
Oh, we haven't got him yet.
Oh, I thought our
my
intern
bad.
already had him on the line.
He's connecting right
All
now.
right, just a second.
I talked to his secretary. I got elevator music right now.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll give it.
Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Hey,
Cohen.
Who is
yeah.
this?
This is Suds and James and Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
What do you want?
So we were wondering, we rewatched the pilot. Was Leela initially...
Pilot of what?
Was she...
I've done so many projects, I can't imagine just one that I would be remembered for.
Well, how many different pilots have you done with a character named Leela?
Oh, well, there was the time that I did the pilot about the sous chef living in Atlanta. Her name was Leela.
I think you're kind of confused. We're talking about your most famous character named Leela.
Oh, yes, that was the baggage handler in Detroit. She was very famous.
No, David, seriously.
Yes?
We're talking about the one where it's set in the future.
One-eyed Cyclops.
The one-eyed Cyclops named Leela.
Oh, you mean the show about the sassy robot?
Well, there is a sassy robot. I don't think it's about him particularly.
Oh, I think it is.
Okay, all right. Let's get away from that. We just want to
has
know.
a shiny metal whatchamacallit, don't you think?
Mr. Cohen, could you just stay on topic, please?
Okay.
All right, we're talking about the character Leela, the one-eyed.
Yes, Leela from the Sassy Robot Show. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we want to know if you had originally planned her to be an alien or a mutant.
Oh, that's a very good question. Originally, I had planned her to be a human who had been killed and then resurrected in a horrible smelting accident.
Smelting?
Smelting. She worked in an ore refinery in Oregon. You see what I did there?
Was the one eye because of that, or?
Yes, she was horribly maimed, and when they brought her zombie back, it had one eye, one gargantuan eye.
I feel like you're a little confused about what we're talking about.
Oh, I often am.
Okay, so should we just leave that at that?
No, please don't. No one's talked to me in 14 years.
Wait, we'll get back to you.
Dave, hang up.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. Click.
Wow, that guy was a weirdo.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, man. So I guess we have our answer now.
Well, schmelting?
I barely understood anything the man said.
Schmelting accident. Schmelting. That's all I heard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that seems to be the summation of it.
All right. So let's move on from there.
Yes.
This is something we've actually talked about when they meet the professor and he gives them their new career chips. It's contents of the space wasp's stomach.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, which comes up again in The Sting when he references his old crew.
We are jumping way
died.
ahead, though.
Well,
didn't
I mean,
talk
we
about
only-
their, escape or anything like that.
Then we don't need to hit plot points.
No.
I mean,
Well, what about Bender's reprogramming?
Well,
do you have anything funny to say about that?
Doesn't he reprogram himself?
No, he runs into that light bulb.
Oh, well, he jacks on. I mean, that's what it's called. He jacks on.
He jacks on.
He jacks onto a new programming.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to be said about that.
But he does reprogram himself later when they're escaping. Earlier when they're escaping Leela when she's chasing them.
Well, he doesn't really we don't realize that he actually, and I think that might have a lot to do with why he sounds the way he does now. Because, even when they're escaping the cops and Leela,
Yeah.
they end up in the head museum. We get introduced to the head museum right away.
Yeah, and we see so many classic heads.
Yes, we see Nixon, we see Nimoy,
We see Bill Clinton. We see
Gerald Ford is in the
we
background
see
somewhere.
Matt Groening.
Matt Groening, Barbara Streisand,
Yeah.
David Duchovny.
Yes.
There's a lot of heads.
I just want Matt Groening to kick in and go, "You saw me."
Or you guys saw me?
There it is.
Jesus.
Yeah, we get introduced to the head museum and heads in a jar completely right away. They're chased through the museum. We get to the point where they're locked in a closet. There's a barred window.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Fry asks, "Hey, you're a bender. You can get us out of this. You should bend these bars to get us." He's like, "Oh no, Fry, I can't do that. It's against my programming."
Well, he says something about, like, unbending.
Well, yeah, he can't like de-bend.
Oh, debend.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, he's about to like turn around and walk away, and walks right into the light socket.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
light
his
bulb.
antenna makes a connection. He jacks on.
Yep, jack's on,
And
as we're calling it now.
and then I guess he gets reprogrammed or something? I don't know. I don't quite understand.
Well, I think that actually makes that point right there turns Bender into the Bender we know. Because at that, like after that fact, moving further ahead, they escape.
Yeah.
They get into the sewers. They see old New York.
Yeah.
As you were talking about earlier, where they all put their hands together,
Yeah.
Bender starts stealing at this point.
I don't agree with you that changed Bender, because we still saw, like, the first time that we saw Bender, first of all, he's the first line he ever utters on the
Like
show
my shiny metal ass.
is his catchphrase.
Yeah.
He initially is trying to kill himself, but keep the quarter on a string.
Yes.
So I would argue that I don't think anything changed from him jacking on.
Okay.
I think it's the same Bender. He was Bender from the beginning.
I'll give you that.
I think the biggest evidence of that is that he tried to keep the quarter that he was using for the suicide move.
I still think it's funny that the stealing thing. Maybe that was always a part of it, but like, why would he not want to de-bend anything? Like,
Well, that was not what he was programmed to do.
let me check my programming.
He
Yeah.
like looks off into the distance.
Yeah.
All right, so if you haven't noticed yet, we are recording in a bar again. We're a year and a half later.
I think this is like ridiculous, but I do think that we should do this like once every 6 months or so.
I'm fine with that.
Once every 6 months, just record a deep cut for the people who have been with us, who have stuck it out since the awful pilot that we did.
I so want to hear from those people.
Yeah.
I want to hear from our listeners.
Do you think there's a single person that has listened from the first episode until now?
Yeah, we know plenty of them.
Well,
They send us emails.
I mean, like 2. There's like 2 maybe.
Oh, you guys are shitting on our whole thing here.
Has Carlton been there since the beginning?
I have no idea.
Matt has.
We haven't heard from anyone in like weeks.
Matt's a college student. I'm pretty sure he's busy.
He should drop out and maybe go to college studying our podcast.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
After we write the textbook of this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's not.
I like how we only have 2 fans that we know of.
Do we know? Well, do we want to talk about anything else before we start to?
Well, it gets further on. They meet the professor.
Yeah, and the professor confirms that they are related, and something that I brought up during the rewatch that I had never put together before. So the professor is Fry's like great whatever nephew, which I think means that the professor has to be from Fry's brother's lineage.
Yes, he does, and we kind of discussed that he definitely would be from that side. Being an uncle,
he would have. Yeah.
Well, especially since he's in the future, like how else would it be?
I mean, to our knowledge, there were no other kids or whatever in the Fry family.
I mean, as far as we know, like.
Wait, what is Professor Farnsworth's full name? Is it Farnsworth Fry? Or is it something Farnsworth?
Hubert Farnsworth.
Hubert Farnsworth.
Huh, okay.
Hence, Hubert Farnsworth.
Why isn't his last name Fry?
Okay, so first of all, do you have cousin or nieces and nephews? You don't have any nieces and nephews.
Oh no, I don't. All right, so yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Married out of blood.
Well, eventually somebody from Fry's brother's lineage, like somebody had a daughter at some point. She married somebody from the Farnsworth family, and then they had Professor Farnsworth, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And we do learn more about the Farnsworths later in. God damn. It would have been episode, or not episode, but like season. I want to say season 6 or 7.
7. Well,
Well, we still have the movies. Those are actually considered seasons, technically. So
Well, I don't think so.
I don't.
I mean, they're not seasons. They were seasons on Netflix for Netflix's purposes, but fuck Fox for removing it from Netflix. However, on October 18th, I don't know, soon, the entire series is going to be on Hulu. I just saw an article about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, every episode is going on Hulu, like, within a week. It's less than a week.
So they're getting rid of them on Netflix completely.
I didn't see anything about that. I just saw that everything will be on Hulu.
Okay. Well, then we'll be back, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Full stream.
Do you want to do Slurmies?
Yeah, no, I mean, let's just wrap it up with the actual episode. They meet Professor Farnsworth. They come to the conclusion, this is when New Year's is happening, that he needs a crew. They need jobs. Does anyone want to point out how weird that is in this future, that you need to be chipped and have a job?
Wait, does the professor chip them?
He gives them chips.
Because from his old crew. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It may not seem strange, like, for this.
Well, it just reminds me of that whole conspiracy about, like, you know, people think it's like the sign, like a barcode or something is the sign of the devil, and we're all gonna have like RF chips in our skin, and that's like
technically
that's gonna be like it's like Satan. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, it's like a legit conspiracy theory.
This is closer to the future than I think they realized they were going, because you can get a chip for your job. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen those? Like, it's just like right under the skin. It's
I
like
have
to
not.
get into workplaces.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of those things you carry on your keychain.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe a lot of sci-fi has that kind of they're like, oh, well, you're going to need this at some point.
The Suds walked away in the middle of us getting ready for Slurmies.
Well, he'll be right back. It's fine.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I will. So for this first episode, the rewatch of, we're going to call it, are we rewatch of the pilot episode type deal?
I'll figure out a title for it.
Okay, but what's that? They should have one. I don't know if we'll ever get one. Scott will never have that.
No.
Scott doesn't give a shit.
No. We're the nerds.
We need to wrap this up. We cannot derail this any further.
Alright, so for this episode,
Your walnut-sized platter ruined the episode.
yeah, you're ruining the episode. First pilot episode, the actual Slurmy, I'm probably going to be the lowest.
Did James already go?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to follow that up with anything?
No. I just thought I'd just leave it out there for you guys.
Okay.
I love this episode. It actually, rewatching it, it's very funny. Everything's hitting on point. It's setting up the rest of the show. We saw a lot of the characters we love, which was great. I think they could have gotten more of the characters in there, but they do that in the second episode.
Yeah.
It's like a 4.9.
4.9.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's what I will go with this.
You done?
Yeah, good. Go ahead. Thanks, James.
5. I don't need to say anything else. 5 Slurmies.
5. Agreed.
Perfect episode.
I think it's fucking perfect. I agree. I'm so surprised at how well it's held up. I haven't watched that episode. I probably years, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking great, though. It sets up everything.
Guys got to be a little more critical.
Yeah, down to a 4.9. Fuck you.
Ah, what an asshole.
No, but like for real, we see all the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
It sets a lot of shit up. We get to see them on the ship. I don't know.
Let me ask a question. Is that any worse than what Suds gives episodes that we love?
Yes.
Oh my god, seriously? Alright, it's a 5.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you.
Jesus Christ.
It's a fucking
idiot.
5.
Pulling teeth on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, it's a 5.
Do you have anything else before we wrap up?
No, I don't have anything. This has a lot of good shit in it. It's definitely the things we all laughed at, like out loud. I feel like those are the best moments too. Like just the random shit as a newcomer to the year 3000. You would fucking laugh. I do want to mention James definitely said fucking tubes.
Oh, that's right.
I still hate the tubes.
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped into my head was hoverbed moment. Wait, that's 2 episodes from now.
I do like that. I think we should once every 6 months do a throwback episode to it.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a
one
good
that we've
idea.
already done.
Well,
Yeah.
we could also line that up with coming to the bar.
Yeah, I agree.
Doing it in the bar.
I have one more question about the episode.
Sure. Yeah.
How long has Scruffy been employed there, and what the fuck was he doing?
Oh, yeah, we should, this episode does not feature Scruffy at all. This is pre-Scruffy, as,
Pre-Scruff.
pre-Scruff, as Suds put it earlier.
Has Scruffy been an employee of Planet Express the entire time?
That's what I wonder, yeah.
I feel that he has, but if he hasn't, what was he doing?
And also, was he there for the previous crew?
Well,
Has he just been in the background the whole time cleaning and shit?
we're just gonna put out a whole series of Twitter polls this week.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna be a lot. We'll figure that off air.
Find @PlanX Podcast on Twitter to vote.
Alright, so, you've got our slurms, our re-slurms.
Well, no, it's the first
No, it's
time we've
first
slurmed
time.
this episode.
The first time we've slurmed this episode.
Slurmed the episode. So, yeah, that's a thing. Alright, now I've lost my place. Would you guys like to close, please? One of you?
Sure. Follow me on Twitter @Gorilla Karate.
At Mike Suds all over the place.
And as always, wait, were you gonna say more?
Not
go
now.
ahead, go
I
ahead,
wanted to,
go
but I
ahead.
don't want to
No,
anymore.
no.
Michael, say something else.
Grandma, is that you?
Yes, it's me, and you're
Grandma
just one
Dorothy.
band.
Okay, yeah, look at my band, Florence and Libby, on Spotify or iTunes. or wherever.
terrible name. You should name them
You, Grandma.
Shut up on the grandma. They're going places.
You're dead. Get out of here.
No.
You can follow me on Instagram @DeadWolfSal.
Deadwolf Showl.
Showl.
I hate you, Grandma Dorothy. You're a terrible human being.
That's okay, David. All the ghouls hate you too.
Wait, my grandma's hanging out with a bunch of ghouls?
Oh yes, I'm so in hell.
Thank you for listening to this.
Boy.
What are we calling this? What is
It's
this?
a podcast, Dave. What is wrong with you? Did you get drunk all of a
Yes,
sudden?
I did. I'm good. All right. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Off you go, apparently.